Hyrule Castle. It's filled with the darkness of Ganon, waiting to escape, waiting to destroy the world once more. But it was said that Ganon attacked Hyrule 100 years ago, and that it happened out of nowhere. But where did he come from? Who released him? I think I have an answer. Link is awakened from his sleep and guided by a mysterious female voice through the ruins of Hyrule. He learns from an old man that a being called Calamity Ganon had appeared 100 years earlier out of nowhere, and destroyed much of Hyrule before being sealed in Hyrule Castle. Although Ganon was trapped, his power continues to grow, and Link must defeat him before he breaks free and destroys the rest of Hyrule. Now it's time to find out how Ganondorf broke free from his prison and was able to destroy the whole kingdom. Well, most of it. First we need to find out the most common prisons for Ganondorf in the series, because then we know where he could have escaped from. One option could be that Ganondorf escaped the Sacred Realm or that someone revived him. We have seen this before in other Zelda games like A Link to the Past. But the problem with this is that Ganon never escaped on his own. There was always somebody who helped him out. And this also goes for reviving him. Now this could have happened in secret without anybody knowing, and this would actually be possible, since there was no mention of a hero that tried to stop Ganondorf 100 years ago. But this hero could have been Link from Breath of the Wild. Maybe Ganondorf broke free and defeated Link, just like the Downfall timeline where Link was defeated at the end of Ocarina of Time. And 100 years later, he returns to defeat Ganon for good. But this is not likely in my opinion, since there aren't any clues to Ganon being revived or freed from the Sacred Realm. No clues, no hints, no connections, nothing. Now what about the possibility that Ganon wasn't sealed away at the time and leaded the Gerudo just like in Ocarina of Time? And later on he breaks into the Sacred Realm to get the Triforce of Power so he could destroy the kingdom. He has done this before in A Link to the Past. One day, a band of evil thieves managed to open the gateway to the Sacred Realm, where the mystical Triforce was hidden. Upon finding the sacred golden relic, the leader of the thieves, Ganondorf, slew his followers and claimed it as his own. But was Ganon dead or sealed away 100 years prior? Well, we don't really know, so this is also not really an option. We can't be sure. This can't be it, right? Well, I still have a card up my sleeve. And you won't expect it. First things first, the ending of the Wind Waker. This is going to be important. Working as a team, Link and Zelda used the Master Sword and the light arrows to weaken Ganondorf. When Ganondorf was at his weakest, Link plunged the Master Sword deep into his forehead, which turned him into stone. After this, Link and Zelda escaped to the surface while Ganondorf and Hyrule were flooded once and for all. Now there have been countless theories about Breath of the Wild's timeline. And to be honest, it's a complete mess. There have been so many different landmarks from different games from different timelines, so there's something wrong with all of them. But one strong point for the adult timeline are the Koroks. The Koroks were once the human-shaped Kokiri, but when Hyrule was transformed into the Great Sea, they took on a more plant-like appearance. The Great Decatry says this in the Wind Waker. So this event only happened in the adult timeline, and can only happen in the adult timeline, or a split of it. Because the world had to be flooded in order for the Kokiri to evolve like this, otherwise it wouldn't have any purpose. And this timeline actually fits really well with a lot of aspects in the game, and it could also explain how Ganon escaped. Ganondorf was turned to stone and left behind at the bottom of the ocean, and in Breath of the Wild all the water is gone. So maybe somebody found the stone Ganon, pulled the Master Sword out of his head, and freed him. Now some of you might think, that's too obvious to be the answer. But most often, the obvious answer is the best one. The Master Sword turned him into stone, and it probably acted as a seal. But could anybody but Link pull the Master Sword out of Ganondorf? Well, if this works the same as the Pedestal of Time, then no. Only the Hero of Time can pull the Master Sword out of the pedestal. No one else. But if we look at the Master Sword from Breath of the Wild, then we can see that it's in a really bad shape. This could be because of Ganondorf. Maybe he was corrupting it while it was stuck in his head, trying to weaken the seal bit by bit. And as soon as it was weak enough and lost almost all of its power, somebody pulled it out of his skull and freed him. We have seen before that the Master Sword can lose its power over time. This would explain why it happened out of nowhere, since nobody knew about the events of the Wind Waker. Only Link and Tetra know what happened in the end. Now some people would say that the Master Sword is so damaged because of the water, but that doesn't make any sense, since the Master Sword cannot be damaged by the elements. We see this in games like A Link to the Past, where it's kept in a forest open to the elements at all time. If this truly happened, it would also explain why we only see Ganon in a mist-like form, since his body was turned into stone. So is the answer really that easy? Well, we don't know for sure, since Nintendo hasn't told us a lot about the story yet. Is this the most likely answer for now? Probably. Since this could have happened out of nowhere without anybody knowing, it fits with the timeline, it would explain Ganon's form, and it could explain the state of the Master Sword. So who knows? I guess we will have to wait and see what Nintendo brings to the table. I at least did my best to provide you with an answer. Do you like video game hacks, glitches, and development Easter eggs? Well, if you do, then head over to my second channel, The Game Architects. To start off, click this Twilight Princess beta Easter eggs and secrets video. There's probably some stuff you didn't know about the game yet. For example, unused monsters and items that were planned for the game but never made it in. So go check it out!